Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Rift Queens. It's absolutely insane. We came up with this idea about a week ago, not even, and now we're here. It's kind of nuts. I'm Miela. You may know me from Prime League. You may know me from the Equal Esports Cup broadcast. I'm joined with Noah, who will be my amazing co-host. You know her from the LVP Superliga, of course, as well as the EUniverse and the LPL English as of now. I mean, that's awesome. I love that for you. And we, of course, also have a special guest with us today. We are joined by Miella. She is, of course, the AD carry for SK Avarosa. And our goal with this podcast is going to be that you guys get to know the female non-binary scene a little bit better, as well as the people working in it. So we're trying to bring on as many cool people as we possibly can, because we think that this league, this tournament deserves a lot more recognition and a lot more visibility. So here we are. That's what we're trying to do. And we have a lot to talk about, guys.
Yeah.
Topic number one already being an announcement that just came out like an hour ago. Eterna is going to be partnering with FlyQuest for the time of Game Changers Rising. How do we feel about that, Noah? What's your initial thoughts on that?
I mean, initial thoughts. I'm happy that every single team on the competition has somebody like backing them, like an organization, a big organization backing them. Definitely, that was my first thought. They in the Eterna Twitter, they said they will remain as Eterna. It's just a collaboration. It's not like the Blue Water situation with Nexus Reapers, but still, definitely, I'm celebrating that an org stepped up for them.
Yeah, 100%.
For me, it's like, wow, like, it is like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I just saw the tweet. I just saw the tweet 30 seconds ago, and I was so flabbergasted. I can't explain how happy I am for this big step. Like, obviously, it's a bit sad that not any LEC org took the place, but we have Eterna, just a team that was made, I don't know, a month ago, max.
Mm-hmm.
Then they went through the open qualifier, beat everyone, went into the season. Their first step, they beat the finalist of the last tournament. And now, to top it all off, we have FlyQuest, the NA LCS org. It is flabbergasting to me, and I'm so happy.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. No, I get it. And I think, I mean, there has to be a little bit of a discussion of, I think we know why FlyQuest might be a little more interested into investing into the female scene as of right now.
I mean, you're just making things up. This for sure.
No, yeah.
It's 100% goodwill. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, It is. In my opinion, it has to be, and I'm very glad that we have big organizations recognizing the potential as well, because I think there's a lot of potential in this that you just need to, look at and find a way to invest into. However, you gotta say, shout outs to Bwippo, you did that. The girls will be forever grateful. My man.
She said it, not me. She said it.
No, but it's really cool, and it's of course also interesting because that means they will have somewhat better option when it comes to going to LAN. Maybe it's going to be a huge financial support for them. They will be able to afford coaching staff if they want to, because Miela said it. This team just got made to go through the open qualifier. There is a lot of people that we know, a lot of people that we've seen before, but there's also 2 NA players, which also kind of makes it cool that it's an NA org, right? Like it's kind of a full circle type thing, right, Miela?
For me, it's also so nice to see for the entire Equal Esports scene, right? Because, damn, this year was not good. And we went into the tournament, into Game Changers, what has been hyped for all those years, with only 6 real organizations, while a few of them don't even have like big paycheck to begin with, where people cannot like even call it like a job for them, And then we have, as we already mentioned before, Blue Otters, also joining the scene now with taking over Nexus Reapers, and now finally also like a really, really big org with FlyQuest. Because before that, we only had 3 LEC orgs, and now having FlyQuest, which is in my opinion the same level of G2 in terms of like regional power, and it makes me happy. It makes me happy to just see as a player, even though it doesn't affect me directly, to just see the scene growing, because this will just in return give so many more eyes to these tournaments, which in return will give like a better opportunity for the next year, coming up for new talents, new tournaments, and maybe even with a bit more professional game changers.
Well, we'll definitely touch on that. I think we'll definitely touch on that.
I mean, I wish, because honestly, this, and I think this is not just my vibe or my mentality coming into Game Changers, because this was like, these Game Changers were requested for years, like years. It's been demanded for so much time, and finally it is here. And for me, it saddens me to see how little it's been promoted by Riot. Like, not even a mention on the LEC broadcast, not just a tiny little tweet on the LEC social media. For me, the promotion is it's been terrible, and there's so many people out there who are not even aware that this is happening. And it's kind of the same vibe that I got with Pathfinder some years ago. It's like, what is this happening? How? Nobody told me this is happening. Even people who works in the scene weren't aware that the tournament was going on. And I really don't want this to happen to Game Changers as well. I don't really want this opportunity to die. And my mentality with this tournament happening, and I know, for example, it's the same for you, Miela, and it's the same for a lot of girls who work on camera, not only the players, is to push this up so hard that Riot cannot deny us for another Game Changers next year. Because otherwise it will happen like it happened with Game Changers in North America. And we cannot allow that to happen again.
Yeah, 100%. I think that has to be the goal, and that's also, of course, part of why we're doing this thing right here, because we also believe, or I personally also believe, that the more faces you know, the more faces you get to see, the easier it is for you to identify with the tournament. Because why do we watch the big regions? Because we're fans of players. We've seen players' journeys for the longest time. You know, love it or hate it, but people just know who Faker is because he's been there for the entirety of the time, and he's been doing a great job at also, you know, like marketing himself in a weird way. You know, like, we just know the person and we become a fan of the person because we get to know their personality outside of the game. And I think that's something that people have wished for a lot. I mean, I've been asking people, yo, what type of content would you like to see for Game Changers? And people are like, get to know the players, but not only game related, not only like, oh, what's your play style in your team, but also like, what's your journey? Where did you start? Why are you a pro player? And that brings us to so many questions that we want to ask you, Miela, because I had the chance to talk to you a few times already before, so I've heard some of the answers before, but there are so many people now out there who don't quite know who you are, what you're doing, and how it all started. So fill us in. When did you first start playing League? Like, what was that like, coming into the gaming bubble like that?
Oh my god, yeah. Getting right to the beginning. Damn. Okay, so basically, I was just a kid going to school, right? I was always playing Minecraft and Overwatch back in the time. I know, like, maybe not one of the best first games to play, but yeah, I mean, Minecraft Overwatch was like my bread and butter. And then, funnily enough, my sister was like 10 years older than me. She had a boyfriend at the time, and he was very League addicted. I can't quite remember what he played. I think it was also ADC player. And yeah, he just said, oh, you're playing computer games? Let me download your League of Legends. And then the curse began, you know?
Oh God!
And I think my teammates were not happy because there was like a, I don't know, 13-year-old that went Akali 6 times Varmox in their normal games. It's been an experience. I think I played like all this weird stuff, like Aram, very weird builds. I always like Varmox. I think I built Varmox on every single champion. I was like, okay, if I have 6 Varmox, I have almost infinite health and I can just go out of combat and get it back. It must be so broken. And yeah, I terrorized every single game with that till I was level 13. Then I quit the game. And then 2 years later, around like 2018, 2019, I met friends in school who also played League of Legends.
Oh.
And then I started playing normal games with them. I started streaming. I was like streaming full-time for like, not full-time, but daily for like 3 to 4 years, where I only played viewer games, legit. I was playing, like I was saying, guys, please watch my stream, we can play together, and this is how I grew my community at first. It ended up me quitting these viewer games because I had people who only came to my stream to run me down in viewer games. I had like people picking Syndra. I had running after me. I had people picking Nunu, just running it down. It was it was an experience. It was an experience. But then I decided, I'm just gonna play ranked for a bit. Then I played ranked, and then I had like a streamer team because I was diamond at the time, and we just wanted to have a project with some streamers. And then we had a team together and we competed in the Prime League. And at the same time, I was rewatching 2019 G2 MSI. And then it started for me. I was like watching all these casters hyping it up that Europe, it's the time for Europe now, and it's now EMEA versus EU finals. And the time where the West rose up, this was like for me my breaking point when I knew I will go competitive. I will make it. And then I won my first competitive games in the Prime League, and then I smelled blood. And ever since then, I couldn't stop playing League of Legends. I was pretty much just trying to improve and getting better. And then I played 4 years of Prime League, I would say 3 to 4 years. Till I was like 19 or 18. So I like started playing like League with like 14, 15, and I just completely grinded through it. And yeah, then I had my big outing a few years ago. And around half a year later, I saw NNO with like Bröki, No Way, Taikin, Kani, like the German community. And they were like having a Twitter post about, we're looking for female binary players. Does anyone want to join? And I was like very hesitant to go into there, but then a lot of friends of mine just said, just do it. Like, what can go around? Just do it. Then I played tryouts. I played so well. I actually played really, really well. And then I got chosen. It was basically either, I still remember really well, it was either, I think, Emolga on top lane, and the ADC, I just don't remember the name right now. It would have been either an English team for NNO with Emolga top and a different ADC, or the duo would have been Senef and Miela with German. And then NNO decided to go a full German team, which ended up being NNO. And there my career started, which also led up to 2024, where I won EEC.
Yes, slay. Noah, did you watch that Esports Cup last year? Did you watch that big win of NNO?
I actually got to cast some of the games. I got to see the victory, not live. I had to run through the VOD, but definitely I saw it. Also, you won against one of the favorites. It was such an amazing victory in front of the crew, honestly. And I wanted to ask you, in this scene, how important is it for you, that experience on stage, on LAN events?
I think the reason why I was really like, okay, I need to go competitive is because of the stage moment. I was seeing this huge of a stage when G2 won and A1 Ching, and just seeing, let's go G2, let's go G2, and I was like in my head imagining, I need to be there, I need people to cheer for me. And then 2024, we had the entire NNO community. It was in Germany, it was in Cologne at the Gamescom. And of course, if it's in Germany, NNO was there. And the fans of NNO are there. And then we probably had cheering, NNO, NNO. And goosebumps all the time, legit goosebumps. I still would say this is probably one of the best experiences I've ever had in my entire life about everything. I never felt more happy in that moment and more locked in. I'm a player who really excels when confronting in a stage and having like shine on me and stuff like that. And for me, just having the crowd there, having my entire team that I loved so much, and just being able to play there, like, it makes such a big difference. And for me, it's the experience every single esports player dreams of, to one day play on a stage, have fans cheering for them, and just then performing. And this is really what like competitive is about for me. And I was so happy that we were able to do that like in 2024.
I feel like it's the same for us as casters as well, though. I feel like, you know, offline events are just, it's the craziest. I was lucky to have that last year with Equal Esports Cup, have it this year again with Prime League finals as well for me for the first time. So Noah, of course, you have a little bit more experience with what that's like, but I just felt like, you know, that shows me what esports is all about, you know, because the atmosphere in the room is unlike anything else, and I always appreciate that. I bet you agree, Noah, right?
I mean, I get to repeat this to everyone just jumping into esports. Like, people is not aware how different it is on LANs, on offline events. It's like a lot of people think it's kind of the same because, you know, it's a video game and you can play it online, so it has to be the same. It's not the same. It's not even similar. The moment esports got me was in a LAN event. Like, I remember my first event. Like, I attended as a fan, and I remember I was working actually, but in one of the stands, so I just sneaked away from my duties. I'm sorry to my boss at that time. I sneaked away from my duties just to watch the games, just to go to the arena and watch the games. And I got there standing up for 20 minutes watching the games, and it was so long ago in Superliga in Spain. And that got me. I knew the moment I was standing right there, it's like, oh my God, there we go. I'm not moving out from this moment. And my very first event with LVP, it was unbelievable for me because my very first event with LVP was 2019 Worlds. So
wow.
Yeah, there's no coming back from that.
Yeah.
There was no coming back. Like there was no coming back to witness first person being part of the show. G2 beating T1 in semifinals. It was like there was no coming back after that. So yeah, it's absolutely different. So that's why I value so much that this scene has the opportunity to face those kind of events, because that kind of experience is invaluable for players.
Yeah, 100%. I also feel like for me, it's always been, obviously it's been motivating watching these events, but for me there was also like clear people that I looked up to. And I'm not ashamed to say that Noah is one of them.
What? No.
Yeah. No, the thing is, so the first female caster I ever got to see was Trouble, actually.
Yeah.
No, stop hiding.
No, I haven't.
So I know that there were other female casters in the scene before, but she was just the first one I personally watched when I got back into esports in around 2020-ish, because before I didn't have a lot of free time, so I was like, whatever. I didn't have time to have a hobby, so I was just I didn't watch anything. But when I came back into it, I was watching Trouble being a caster on the I think it must have been the NLC or something, and I was like, oh my God, that's so cool, she's a female caster, maybe I can do that. And then I saw Noah do it, and then more and more girls came up on my screen, and I was like, wait, so they're all doing it, maybe I can do that. And I was wondering, like, Miela, did you have an idol like that kind of motivated you on that level as well, or have you always been kind of your own idol? Because I feel like for a lot of players, especially in the female non-binary scene, especially within the German region, you have become one of those idols because you've always been very outspoken, you've always been very very talkative, but also you always had that bite to improve. So I think you kind of became one of those idols to people. So who was that for you? Did you ever have that?
First up, to hear that I'm like an idol for other people is so crazy to me, because like this is also one of my biggest dreams. So actually inspire people and just get inspired how the way I got inspired. I sadly didn't have like a really big idol in terms of like the female binary scene, because sadly not at a point where it's for some people like the first entry point going to esports, because it's still so small.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like my biggest idol has been just the people that I watch in like LEC, LCK, and LPL, right? Like it's especially going to LEC for me. Obviously, G2 2019 was for me the craziest experience, and just seeing like perks swapping into bots and then having caps and stuff like this was so crazy to me. And then I just got into esports a lot, and I think if I have to say like one big idol, it would be Khan. For me, it is just so crazy. I can also show you like my phone, because I have background. A lot of people are confused that a lot of people might be confused because Khan is a bit of an older player, and for me, it's just when I like was 1 to 2 years into my esports career, and I was like, I don't really know if I can continue, even though I have like big motivation and everything. And then I watched like Khan's documentary about what he did back then with DK and like with Demon back then, and everything leading up to Demon just inspired me so much. Khan is a player who shaped the entire meta around him. He never gave up. He was stuck in lower tier leagues for so many years and was never able to really push through. Even though he did his best, he was motivated and really, really, really was standing out, because people just didn't respect the way he played. He was just a different type of person. And then he finally got one shot, one opportunity to show what he's able to do, and then he changed League of Legends forever. He changed everything forever. He was the player who permanently played aggressive on top lane, permanently forced everyone to like match his aggressiveness, and he just changed the meta. And then after all those years of grinding, he finally pushed through into LCK and then won almost everything except Worlds, which still breaks my heart to this day to see like the best of 5. But this is also something that is really important for me. You don't always have to win everything. Like especially I think Khan's career is like very important for me, because you can sometimes be unlucky, or you maybe not close to being good enough to legit win everything, but still you can have such a big impact and you can still push through. And that was very, very, very important for me, and also a big inspiration, a big reason why I won like 2024 Esports Cup, and why I also pushed through over all those years.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Noah, did you have an idol when you first started? I'm just wondering because, you know, again, like for me, you were one of the first female casters I've ever seen. So I was like, you were obviously my idol, but I was also like 10 years late to the party.
Don't say that. No, I'm hiding again. You should look for better idols. I mean,
no, but I was like 10 years late to the party. You guys were always already doing it, and I came in and I was like, hey, yo, I want to try this.
Like for me, the moment I remember joining or stepping into esports, and as a caster, as a play-by-play, there was no other girl. Wherever I put my eyes on, there was no other girl doing play-by-play, and there were barely any women on the scene. Like for me, my idol was Shox, of course. It's like she was the one I look up to. And, you know, I was lucky I met her actually in 2019 Worlds. I was like, what is happening in here? So, yeah, she was the one I looked up to. Like, how she worked her way into the, into the ecosystem, how she helped shaping it, actually. Because she's been there for ages. She was there in the very beginning of League of Legends. So for me, Dawasi, she was the one I look up to. But definitely, I mean, I look up to a lot of commentators in regular sports in Spain. Also, women making their way into commentating sports, like traditional sports, who are not that many, neither in Spain. So also, I kind of they were the mirror I look up to, and. I improvised my way, not gonna lie. It was like,
I feel that.
There's no path in front of me, so I'm just gonna close my eyes and go blindly. Whatever happens, it happens. I'm just I was just unconscious of most of the things happening around me. So that was how it was for me at the very beginning. I remember you mentioned Miller looking up to Trouble. For me, Trouble was also a moment of wow. It's not only a woman commentating.
Yeah.
She's not native English speaker. She's a non-native English speaker, because this is one of the barriers we always we kind of also face. The three of us in here actually.
Yeah.
It's like she's a Greek woman, like commentating in English. I saw her before she joined the LGC, but when she got to the LGC, it was like, there it is. Finally, I can see a way through it.
Yeah.
It's a difficult way, but we can manage to go through it.
Yeah.
And the fact is that nowadays, it's crazy because more women popped off. You know, in front of the camera, players. Being more vocal about the difficulties of the scene and everything around. And caster wise, I'm really happy to see how many women popped off, like commentating. The thing is that most of them are non-native English speakers, so they are really unseen by the rest of the world. But there are so many in Latin America, like in Europe, all across the globe. They are there, but they are so unnoticed. It's annoying. So we need just to pay attention. And for me, the thing with the players in this game changers is kind of similar. It's like, you're there, people just need to pay attention.
Yeah. That's also something that pissed me off in the past when they were like, oh, we've been looking for female talents. Oh, we've been looking for female players, but we couldn't find any. What do you mean?
Women don't like League of Legends. They are not interested to talk about League of Legends at all.
Like, what do you mean? We're right here. But yeah, I feel like that's also something I've learned massively in the past year probably as well, is that no one else is going to do it for you. If you want to do it, you got to do it yourself, because people will not provide you the platform, people will not provide you the visibility unless you take it. And I think that's something that we as casters have to do. I'm eternally grateful to Rixalis for being the first woman on Prime League, because she ate so much shit that I was able to come in and have it relatively easy. But that was because she was the first one to do it, and she had to tank all the stuff that people had to say, so that I had a little bit of an easier time. And I feel like it's the same thing for players as well. Someone has to start it in order to make it better, and I'm convinced that we just need to change the viewer experience in a way where seeing female and non-binary players on your screen is nothing new anymore. It just becomes part of the game, because that's how it is. That's how it is in solo queue. Just because we don't write our pronouns in chat before we play doesn't mean we don't exist, you know. Like, it's very strange. But we've been also talking a little bit of the career struggles that sometimes happen, and I feel like this year has been a tiny bit of a struggle bus for you, Miela, or like for your team specifically. SK hasn't really had the easiest time in the Prime League, you know, struggling a little bit with staying in that third division. And then, of course, Esports Cup came around and you weren't really able to meet the expectations. How was that for you? How did the journey this year feel for you personally?
Like this year, for me, it's been one of the biggest reality checks that I could have ever gotten. I think coming from the off season, there, like in off season, a lot of stuff happened. I was like having like three really big offers. I had like one big offer where I was able to go on to a top team in the second division of Prime League, which I declined. Then I had another offer which also Sheep Esports reported about, which I declined. It's then I like at the end, like I had the decision for me between like the two best female binary teams, and in the end of the day, I choose SK. And for me, going into this year, this was basically my dream roster, because I always wanted to play with Apollonia and Kiana. Like, these two are probably one of the people I really look up to in the scene, just because Kiana is like a solo queue goat. She's been challenger for a long time. And then Apollonia is like the grind god. Like, she's been she's just playing legit 13 to 14 games a day, and it's I don't know how she keeps it up.
It's crazy
And
because she's always like when we're in the facility for Equal Esports Cup, she was always the first one in the office and she was the last one to leave. Like
yeah,
legit, like it's crazy.
God.
yeah, she's not sleeping. And I don't know how that can be healthy, but she always tells me you just have to get enough energy drinks and everything works. Um, so yeah, I mean, for me it was like, especially like these two players were really insane. And then I had like Charge coming as a coach, cause like Charge has been through so many teams. He was like back playing in the LCS with Double Lift, like he was coaching, right? And then he was also in the LEC. Then he also had like a lot of splits with like Movie Star Riders. Then also
I
like
can
Division
tell.
1 and in Prime League and everything. And for me, when he spoke to me, it was just okay. I need to join a team because I will probably never work with a better coach in my life ever again, basically. And then we went into this year. We had a really good start. I think we improved a lot. And then just a lot of shit happened. Like a lot of shit. I think we, at the end of the day, our team didn't really click. I think we had a lot of issues just pairing together the pieces. Because we had a lot of different personalities. We had like Kiana and me who permanently just wanted to fist fight and skill check the enemy. Then we had Apollonia and Listia who always wanted to take like the controlled easy way. And we had not really a person outside of the game and inside of the game who could really form us together. I think Empress did good job. I think she all years was always like a really good jungler. And I think she individually played pretty well, but it just didn't click in team. And also Charge was like very overwhelmed over this entire year on how to fix it. I think still at the time we were probably a top 3 team in the scene still. I think in scrims we little bit of scrim league, but for example when we played against Team Vitality in scrims like a few weeks before ESC, we just completely stomped them like 3-0. And we were going really confidently into the Esports Cup, even though we got very smashed into Prime League. I think we still were like really confident we should easily get out of groups and then go further. And then we choked. Like we really choked. To be fair, I had a really bad time in my life at that point. Really don't want to go into detail of it, but a lot of stuff happened in my life. And yeah, then it also combined with us choking because everyone was very nervous. Everyone was like a bit scared because of the Prime split, because we lost there. And then it's just like very important official. We have practiced legit 6 months for that of the year. We did basically only play Prime in the meantime. And yeah, then we choked. And then we instantly fell out of groups and had one of the worst showings that we could have ever had gotten. And this was like one of the biggest, if probably the biggest down point of my career, because I was in span of 6 months, I was considered probably one, if not the best player out of the scene, into just getting last place, and especially like with new people joining the scene, I basically have to rebuild my reputation and grind again. And for me, it was really heartbreaking and earth-shattering what happened, but it was also like a really big fluctuation for me because I love challenges, and after failing all that, I had the opportunity, or I still have the opportunity to prove myself again, and I will prove myself again. And it's just really important for me to not give up, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it must have been like also a mental health type thing, you know, like I feel like mental health in esports generally is not discussed enough. I think every team should have a psychologist because, you know, getting your mental health in check is awesome. But I wonder how you deal with the mental part of it. Like, is there anything specific that you could give to a player like in a similar situation? Is there any tips that you would have for someone to make it through, apart from turning it into motivation, which is of course always the best thing you can do generally?
There are a lot of things. I think with mental health is probably the biggest part I've been struggling over my entire career. I think this is also the biggest thing that made or broke like everything that I was doing. It is really important to just realize what you need and what's like making the biggest difference. For me, one of the biggest difference was just environment. what happened around me, where I live, with who I interact on a day. And I had like the big realization that I need to move out ASAP, which I also did instantly after EC. I moved out. And then also for me, it's like realizing what is going on in your head, right? Like, God bless, I had Ewan, in SK. He's our like sports psychologist, and he has been working with me a lot around like dealing with like stress and mental health. Because before playing EC 2024, I was playing two rivals in Paris, and 2023, where I played with Norway on a stage, and I never was more scared in my life before. And legit, I was sitting there, I was shaking. I was shaking so much. And after one misplay happened, my entire head was just, what will the others think of me? I disappointed everyone will hate me, stuff like this, right? And over those years, like especially going from 2023 into 2024, I just learned a lot on how, okay, the only thing that matters is you right now, and you really need to get your breath in check, you need to get your mind in check, and the biggest part of doing all of it is realizing that you have these mental issues. I think the most underrated part, people just shrug it off as having a bad day, just can't do anything against it. Really, really, to recommend to everyone, doesn't matter on what point in your life you are, what job you're doing or whatever. Realize first what the issues are, and then try to fix them. If you're just a joker, and if you really can't handle with the stress, you have the option of having breathing exercises, visualization. What?
Yeah, I feel the struggle so much on that word. Wait, it is visualization. That one?
We Germans can't
Yes.
pronounce it. We can't pronounce it.
Visualization.
That one.
Yeah,
You
thank
cannot
you,
say
thank you.
visualization. I mean, you can say Entschuldigung, but you cannot say visualization. Are you freaking kidding
Look.
me?
I'd rather say Entschuldigung and Schmetterling than what? What now?
Visualization. I don't know, I also fucked it up. Whatever. Okay, good.
The thing you do when you picture things in your mind, right?
Yeah,
Exactly,
but the
exactly.
healthy way of doing that, not the unhealthy way of doing that.
Exactly. Yeah, for me, what I can recommend people is just realize what you have, try to get some help with it. I've been in therapy for a year now, and
Yes.
was the biggest turning point in my life. And yeah, you need to try to first step, realization. Wait, whatever, it's the same word, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, good. We go further, okay? Just
Visualization.
realize what's going on in your head,
Yeah.
and then you can fix it. That's
Yes.
good.
That's good. Yeah, brought it on point. Did you ever have that in your career, Noah, where you were like, "Oh my God, I'm scared," or like performance anxiety? I think for everyone on the broadcast is kind of a thing. Like I have massive performance anxiety. I don't know about you. I don't know if you want to share. Like I don't want to push you into anything.
There was
but...
I openly talked about it in Spanish.
Yeah.
So I don't care about talking about it again in English this time. Like there was a moment in my career, like a few years ago, where I literally had panic attacks before going live. And the moment where you are just fighting to breathe, like 30 seconds beyond going on air, and then you put your best smile on your face, like, hello, welcome again. And we're starting Superliga. Yay, everything is going well. And it's like, no, I'm panicking inside. Like, I was literally dissociating from my own self, from the reality, because that was the only way to survive through the show. And it was a moment I started to go to therapy, that moment as well. And it saved me a lot. It helped me to reshape my relationship with my work. To overcome that feeling, because I had it as well, I can totally relate with that feeling of, this thing went bad on the show. Oh my God, it's my fault. It's my fault. I did this bad. I should have been working better. I should have been focusing on another part of it. I should have been. Yeah, for me, those 3 years ago, it was like going to therapy helped me reshape the way I focus on my job and try to focus a little bit on myself and the way I perceive myself, of course. Because, I mean, sometimes I feel like we put on ourselves so impossibly high ceilings. Like, there is no way for me to be so perfect that I will happy with myself. It's not going to happen. And also, it's like, people get the moment I was like criticizing myself like so badly. The moment they got some random criticism over me, it was like overly destroying my mental. I knew that I couldn't be that way for much more time. So I ran to my therapist, who I love so much. She kind of saved my life, and yeah, it kind of saved me. For me, it's like so important to realize what you said, Miela, to realize, okay, I'm in a bad mental state right now. I'm not in my best mental. I need a solution, and to go and look for that solution. And it's not a bad thing to do. I think a lot of people still, even the taboo around mental health, I think it's not that bad. Like some time ago, like 10 years ago. But I think for a lot of people, it's like still something to be ashamed to admit they're going to therapy. And it's like, no,
nope.
It's not
3 out of 3 right here.
I mean, if you're in perfect mental health condition, I'm not trusting you. You're hiding something. Probably 50% of the times. Where are the bodies? Admit it. Where are the bodies? It's like, it's so difficult to be 365 days of the year in perfect mental health. It's like, it's not happening. It's not happening. There are actually bad times of the month. Not those that people was referring to.
Not the wrong time of the month. Just the bad time of the month.
Yeah, it's like bad moments in your life, you know? Not period related necessarily, by the way. But
sometimes, but not all the time.
Everybody has bad moments in their life. So you just need sometimes help to overcome.
Yeah. And I think it's
therapy,
like...
please.
Exactly. I think the thing is, you know, where we all probably can relate. I mean, all the 3 of us can relate, definitely. So it's definitely not a shameful thing to look for help. We gotta, you know, finish up a little bit because it's been a while. We've been talking for a bit, and this is of course the first edition, so we gotta.
An hour?
Like not quite an hour, but almost. So we're just going to wrap it up with simply asking, you know, SK had a struggling start to the year. You did have a little bit of a roster change going on now, going into game changes. Your first day looked pretty good. You guys looked pretty convincing. Good. So the question is, of course, what's your goal? Where do you see how far can you guys go in this tournament without trying to jinx yourself? But you know, that's of course the big question that we always have.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, about what?
We will just go one step at a time, focus one team at a time, and try to get out of the group phase first, then try to beat one team after another. I've been talking a lot at the beginning of this year, and I just remember my tweets with one of my selfies in an SK chairs with, this year we're gonna win everything. And then I lost everything. And now I'm at a point where I'm like, as I also mentioned again on my Twitter, if you get punched 3 times in the face, a 5th time will also not help. So, I'm very confident in our abilities. I was also very confident in our abilities earlier this year, but I still have to work a lot more. And for me, it's just important to like look at every single enemy and see, okay, how can I improve myself to get an extra stepping point for the next enemy? And it was very funny because last week I only had to play Twitch, and then suddenly my Varus was open because enemy had to ban Twitch because I played 5 solo queue games on him.
Yeah,
very
how dare
scary.
You? Honestly,
very scary. And yeah, I will just try to also find like the little thing that helps us win against Solari. And as soon as we went out of group phase, we will focus on the next enemy. And for me, the goal is still win everything. I beat G2 once. I can do it again, and I will do it again. But first up, I need to beat Solari and then Eterna. Then we can face G2 in the bracket, right? But yeah, for me, it's just really important. It's every single day I play the game, every single day I live on this earth, I want to improve myself as a player and as a human being. And for that, I really just have to look at one step at a time and one phase at a time. Because if I get too confident, it will just happen again that we will lose because I didn't do the best things in the right situation. So I think I grew as a player. Now it's just my opportunity to use the things that I grew on and then just prove that I'm still the best.
Awesome. Honestly, I think, yeah, applause to that. I think those are some great last
Yeah.
words for our first edition of Rift Queens. This is crazy, guys. I'm still kind of mind blown that we pulled this off at all. Like,
In
what
3
the heck?
days! In 3
In
days!
3 days!
3 days!
Yeah, awesome. No, it was so fun. Thank you so much for joining us. Miela was the first person on Twitter to be like, "Yes, this, do
Yes,
it. It's
yeah,
so
true.
cool."
it's so
So
awesome, actually. I'm so happy that you all managed to pull it off, and I'm so happy that I can be a part of it. It's so great.
we're happy you were a part of it, of course. There is no better person we could have asked for the first edition. And I don't know, Noah, do you have any last words, anything you want to add to this first episode before we finish it off?
First of all, Riot Games, pay us and we will do this more professionally around Game Changers. Give us a studio to Miella and me to bring the players, okay, and talk about it. We want this to be changed for we want this to be changed for you. Give us money and we will make the best out of it. Second, go watch Game Changers, okay? Go
Yes.
watch the league, support the players, support the broadcast, pulling their best to give some visualizations around around the competition. Yeah, go visualize the league. Okay, go visualize the league. Go support everybody. On top of that, LEC teams, please step the fuck up. Okay.
Yes.
I know 2024. I know there were promises and they were broken. There was no game changers.
Where are they?
Where are
Where's
they?
the
All those promises?
where are the
I don't know.
promises? I can't
Where-
can't find them. Oh man,
They
that's
have,
too
they
bad.
have gone with my cat. They have gone alongside my cat. I know that, but there is no excuse. You need to step up right now. You need to step
Yeah.
up right now to support the scene, and we have to make the best out of this opportunity to be secure that next year Game Changers is happening again with better format. For God's sake, with better format, because we didn't discuss the formats. Okay. But okay, I mean, LEC had about format as well in the summer, so I think Game Changers go toe to toe to it. Yeah, I think it's kind of fitting to put it somehow. But we need to secure the Game Changers is happening again next year. Better format, at least 2 splits for God's sake. So with more LAN events, we have to do this somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Somehow someone managed
somehow.
to do that. Until then, make sure to support the project, make sure to support our players, make sure to support the broadcast talent. A lot of people are putting in a shit ton of work to bring you guys as much content as possible. So if you want to watch whatever is happening in the group stage of Game Changers, make sure to check out POC TV for the French stream and the EUniverse for the English stream, of course. And everything else will happen afterwards. We don't know anything yet.
No,
If
we
you don't
don't.
know anything yet, it's going to be a big surprise. But until then, definitely stay tuned for the next match days coming up. Thank you guys so much for chilling with us. Thank you, Miela, again for talking with us.
Thank
And
you.
we will see you soon for the second episode of Rift Queens. Let's see if it takes another 3 days to pull it off. We'll see. Goodbye.